Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, basically I guess this is a response. I was tagged by LukeMorse1 and the subject of the tagging is 5 random gaming facts about myself that no one cares about. So I thought, well, why not? Now, apparently most people get tagged, they just sit in front of the camera. Well, that's a little boring, and I doubt you want to look at me. So, I figured while I'm going through these facts, we'll just take a look at Udon's Art of Capcom. So at least you can see something interesting while I'm telling you, these facts. So, let's get started. Number 1. I have never discharged an arcade monitor. It's kind of weird because I do have a couple of arcade monitor videos, but I've never actually discharged a monitor. I've never needed to. Usually I either have someone fix the monitor for me, or if I have a monitor that needs fixing, usually it's something that doesn't require a full discharge. Now, eventually, I probably will have to do it, and I probably will make a video, but until then, there's no reason to discharge a monitor. Alright, so, number 2. I love emulation. Whether it's MAME or some other type of emulation, I think it's great. Most people, or not most people, I would say hardcore arcade collectors, they hate it. They think it's the devil. Me, I think it's great. MAME itself, that's what got me into collecting real hardware. And one of the reasons why I think emulation is fantastic is because, especially if you're new to arcades, some of these boards are expensive. Now, are you really going to want to spend $200 for an arcade board on, maybe something you never played or can't remember playing? So emulation is a cheap alternative for those people to try these games. And, it'll lead them to buying the real hardware. And if it doesn't, then so what? It means more hardware still for the collectors. So why people bash on emulation, I do not know. I think it's a fantastic asset to the arcade collecting community. Now, number 3. This is kind of a story here. And it goes back to my childhood. I had a major disappointment on Christmas. I can't remember how old I was. Basically, I had really wanted a Sega Genesis. Now, the game system I had was a Nintendo. Thing is, I was a bad child, and I remember I got my Nintendo taken away from me and all the games and this and that. So for Christmas, which was many, many months later, I begged and pleaded and I wanted a Sega Genesis. I wanted one so bad. And I remember I told my parents, if that's the only gift I get, I am perfectly fine with that. So, Christmas comes along, and, I open up all my gifts, and there's one gift that's left, under the tree, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this has to be a Genesis. And I was like so excited, I open it up, and it's my old Nintendo. I was so disappointed. My parents used the excuse that the Sega Genesis was just too expensive, or I don't know. But I was so disappointed. I do remember I tried to play it off, and pretend I wasn't, too disappointed. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's great, woohoo. But yeah, major disappointment. Alright, so let's see, that was number 3. Let's get to number 4. Now this one's interesting. When I had my Super Nintendo, I actually got Street Fighter 2 way before anyone else. I went to a mom and pop video game store next to where my grandparents lived, and I was able to buy Street Fighter 2 for the Famicom. At the time, I think it was like $120. I could be wrong. But I sold my Nintendo games, I sold some Turbo Duo games I had, and I saved up enough money, and I bought Street Fighter 2. Maybe it was Turbo Duo games I sold, I can't remember. Anyways, the cool thing about this particular place is, as you know, a Famicom cart won't fit in a Super Nintendo cart, and you have to buy an adapter. These people were like, no adapters needed. Just give us your system. We'll tear out those plastic tabs free of charge. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I had Street Fighter 2 way before any of my other friends. So everybody wanted to come to my house and play. Now, got a little off track, but the funny thing is, fact number 4, I eventually traded that Famicom Street Fighter 2 cart for a Sega Genesis from the same place. So yeah, probably a little story there, but I thought that was interesting. Alright, number 5. I've actually gotten better with Street Fighter as I've gotten older. Oh, lovely picture. I've been playing Street Fighter 2 ever since World Warrior. I've only been playing good, probably within the last 10 years or so. And like a lot of people, always picked Ken, Ryu, threw fireballs, that was about it. But within the last 10 years or so, I really started to understand the play mechanics of Street Fighter, and my favorite Street Fighter is Grandmaster Challenge. If you don't know, that's the Japanese version of Super Turbo. Alright, so that's 5 facts, but you know what? Let's go to 8. Why? Just because I can. Number 6. The first game I played on MAME was Altered Beast. I had heard about MAME and, thought this thing was wonderful, and I downloaded it, learned about it, and the very first game, Altered Beast, played with my keyboard, but I thought, badass. I was just in shock and awe. Alright, number 7. My favorite game series. It's a cross between the Resident Evil series and the God of War series. Love Resident Evil. Played 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, 4, 5, and 6. My favorite is 4. 5 is pretty good. I despise 6. And I just finished playing HD Remaster. As far as the God of War series, my favorite in that series is 2. I think that one is the best out of them all. And the funny thing is, the original God of War, that is actually what got me back into console gaming. There was a time where I stopped playing consoles just because I was tired of wasting all my money. And the original God of War is actually what got me back into, my PlayStation at the time. Alright, number 8. I take pride when I have an arcade problem and I get a cabinet up and running. Well, I came across an arcade cabinet which was just one problem after another. It was a Trog cabinet which was converted to X-Men. This thing was hacked and slashed, and I got it for a really good price. But this thing caused me so much pain and suffering. I would fix one thing and something else would go out. I fixed the wiring, I rewired it. The monitor looked good, but just one thing after another on the monitor, went out on me. Got one thing replaced and it was something else. I don't know how much money I lost into this cabinet trying to get it up and running. But yeah, in the end, I actually gave the cabinet away. Someone was delivering another cabinet for me that I purchased, and I'm like, do you want this cabinet? If so, free of charge, take it. And they took it. But that was the only time where I just gave up. There was just so many problems. The good thing is I was able to recuperate some of my money with the X-Men board. I sold that. But yeah, so that's 8 random related gaming facts about myself that no one cares about. Now I guess I'm supposed to tag 5 other people, but you know what? If you're one of the 6 people who actually view my videos, then consider yourself tagged. You know, why go for 5 when you go for 6? So there you are. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If not, well, sorry. Until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.